Welcome to the Dollar Bill Show, episode 60. All right, supposedly, have you heard this, that there's an alien ship coming towards Earth? I've been following this, and it's in our solar system. And supposedly there's some kind of like aliens that are bionic, and what we are was put here as an experiment for them to like get their consciousness back and like their feelings. So we were put here on this earth as like an incubator, and then so they're heading this way, and I have no idea what they're planning on doing to us, but I can't wait to get anal probed.
This is why nobody trusts white people, okay?
And supposedly, okay, there's like this whole other society and part of the world that nobody knows about, and it's like on the other side of fucking Antarctica, and there's like this ice wall, and so I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones, but you know who lives on the other side of the ice wall. I hit the wrong thing. This fucking guy. And honestly, like, I think I loved Game of Thrones, but they should have did a better job, because this guy is not even scary looking to me, man. Like, that's like all of this Halloween shit. And these horror movies and stuff, this shit, I don't watch any of it just because I believe that, like, you're kind of being programmed for, like, blood and gore, and it's almost like when you see something, your subconscious really goes through that shit. But, like, dude, my real life was scarier than all of this. Like, these characters ain't even that fucking scary, really, and especially these guys that live on the other side of this ice wall. But okay, the government, they have captured somebody from beyond the ice wall, and he kind of looks like that dude Powder.
Government may have captured someone from beyond the ice wall.
So the government captured one of these native Antarctic people, or Agarthians as you call them, and interrogated them. They've been studying this rogue country within Antarctica for decades, right? Of course they captured one of the natives. How else were they supposed to get any information on the place? Look, regardless, the things that they found out in the conversations that followed suit, right, were just, it puts history in a different perspective. Let's put it that way. Wait, they were talking to this person? Well, look, I mean, wouldn't these people speak their own language? Buddy, just because they have their own native language doesn't mean they don't understand others as well. Look, after they detained him, right, they figured he was going to speak in some kind of uninterpretable tongue, so they sent in a linguistic expert by the name of Pete Richards to do the interrogation, right? And so Pete sits there asking him all kinds of different questions, right, about their society, about who they are. But the guy just wouldn't say a thing. He was completely silent, right? Up until the point where Pete pulled out these pictures the agency had taken of this country's pyramids, right? And he sets the picture down as he says, "Can you tell me about these?" The guy didn't really budge, right? Like, he didn't want to engage. And so Pete says, "Listen, we've seen structures like this before." He pulls out an image of the pyramids from ancient Egypt and shows it to him. And for the first time, the guy's expression just completely shifts, right? Like he was seeing something that he'd somehow seen before. And as he's staring at the image, he goes, "Second." Pete's just shocked this guy had finally spoke, right? And as he's just staring at him, a higher-up agent in the room quickly says, "Pete, what the hell's that mean?" And with a kind of just wide-eyed, shocked expression of disbelief, Pete says, "It's Egyptian.
Hey, weird.
It means old friend."
Government may have captured someone from...
You stupid fat bitch! Ah! I can't stand it when fucking they get in the corner. It's just like people want to be seen. They get on them videos and it'll be like, "You little fat bitch," down in the corner, and he's messing up the whole video by talking over the fucking video. You know what I'm saying? There's whatever on TikTok. Ugh. So there you have it. There's a whole society beyond this ice wall that they're hiding from us, and obviously it's paradise over there. That's where Tupac lives, and Jim Morrison, who was later Rush Limbaugh. So pretty excited to visit. You know, I love a good hospital. Like, I went to the hospital the other day to get my stitches taken out, and it's good. The hospital is a great place. I went there, it was early in the morning, like probably first appointment in the day, and like there's lots of chairs everywhere. Like, you can rest every little bit while you're walking, and you can see people without having to go to their funeral, and like many of them maybe their last days, and you could be a positive influence and just by saying hello to them or something like that. And there's reasonable price food. Like, I had the greatest breakfast while I was waiting on the bus. I had like and I usually don't eat like that at all. Lots of times, like, I'll only eat fruit or something like that before noon. But I had like a sausage and egg on a biscuit with gravy and tater tots, and it was delicious. I saw this story about Johnny Cash, and I had read his autobiography and stuff, and I studied his. You know, he recorded over 10,000 songs in his career. Think about that, 10,000 songs. That is a shitload of songs.
Wow.
And I'm not kissing his ass or nothing, but like, I'm jealous of that. That is a massive amount of music. And I wonder how many of those he wrote.
I love your head.
Probably thousands of these songs he wrote. But anyway, he was like, and I think this was the time he was getting off of drugs. And supposedly he was living in a cave. And it never has shown, I never even heard about this in his autobiography, but they claim it was true. And I think it was like when he was like trying to get with June for real, and like he was hit his bottom, you know what I'm saying? And he was supposedly living in this cave, and like he was going to die, and then like he had an encounter with Jesus. And this is where he began to turn his life around, and like got out of that cave and went to her and her family like started taking care of him, and he got off drugs. But like, man, I had a similar encounter with Jesus, and he came to me right in there on that couch, man. And I was dying, literally dying of a broken heart for many years. And I would cry out to him, man. I started crying out to him and just praying. And like that day, I had been doing it most of the day. I went to church and took communion, and I came home and I was still like dying of a broken heart, and I started crying out to him, and he literally came to me right in there in a vision and healed my broken heart. And he was in a red robe, and I couldn't make out his face. It was like blurry. And it says like I think it says that in scripture, no one will like see the face of Jesus, you know what I mean, until after this life is over. And then I was just in the glory and grace of God in prayer for a long time after that. And I was crying, and I was like, Lord, why me? Why am I worthy enough for you to come and do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was just like giving up my thanks to him in prayer. And I didn't see him this time, but it was like he came back and he was like, it's not like I had anything else to do. So, like, yeah, quite the character, that Jesus. And if you're having tough times and you're trying to live this life through your will and not his, it's not going to work. And I'm learning every day to give up my free will more to Jesus. So I'm going to end this right now and do that. End this podcast for the day. And I hope you have a good day. God bless you.